Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers. James and Justin back again with another reaction video. And in this one, we are going to take a first time look at older guru who has passed on, Paramahansa Yogananda. I think he was famous for his autobiography. It was kind of like handed out by Steve Jobs at his funeral, but obviously he's more famous for his teachings and his relevancy and stuff like that. And so I found this channel called Self-Realization Fellowship where they have some audio snippets of his teachings and stuff like that. So this is the first one. We'll take a look at it, and if you guys want us to do more reaction to his stuff, we'll do that. But this one is titled on the dream nature of the world.
Cool. I love finding a new teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure there's probably people out there like, this guy is so famous. How can you like?
I know.
I just get the impression this guy's crazy famous.
I know.
So anyway, first time look.
I remember one day I was in the movies. Movies has one fascination because I see the whole world as movies. I was in the booth and I saw the operator was reading a novel. And I saw this automatic machine was going on and the beam was causing on the screen a terrible horror picture. And I said, Lord, how is it? I have the whole show of the universe in front of me. You are this operator who is thinking of new plays, and your nature is throwing this beam in the sky. And I see the hero and the villain are nothing but pictures. Nobody is killed. Many were being killed and shot in this picture, but I saw from the booth it was the light that had created the villain, and the light had created the hero. And a voice said, remember, the villain is created so that you don't become the villain, but that you love the hero. If you become the villain, your throat has to be cut. And now you see that there is no villain, no hero. They are both pictures of my beam. After getting away from the villain and evil, or tasting poison honey, taste the honey of goodness and then come into the beam, and you will realize that all this world which you see of terrible wars and troubles is nothing but a picture show, cosmic motion picture show in the sky. You will be surprised. You never analyze that as soon as you sleep and dream, you can create a world like this, with people suffering from cancer and disease and wars and some smiling babies born, old men dying. Then when you wake up, you see that all those things were made of your dream consciousness. So remember, this is the same, nothing different. And until you find that out, this world is a terrible show. I said to God, as He was talking to me, but Lord, look at the audience. They are howling and screeching downstairs at this horror show. I see that it's nothing but pictures and light, because I see the invisible beam. There are no murders in the beam, no heroes nor villains in the beam. But Lord, what about the audience? They don't know it. Then the voice said, tell them all to look at my beam within, and they will realize that this show was given to entertain them, not to get mixed up with it. That's why, remember, every night He makes you a God. Every night He withdraws you from this movie, cosmic movies, and makes you realize you are the Son of God. You are made in His image. You cannot be violated or hurt by stones, nor bombs, nor machine guns, nor atomic bombs. Remember, the best shelter is in the silence of your soul. And if you can develop that silence, nothing in the world can touch you. And you can say, Jang labdha chaparang labham mannate nadikang tata. Having which no other gain becomes greater. Then you can stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds. Then you are not in any way touched by cold and heat, pleasure and pain. But as soon as you are touched by these, you are with the movies. So I realize this world with terrible wars and troubles. When I see the injustices, I cannot uphold the Father. But when I see that light dancing around me, this is the picture show, then I say, glory to the Father.
It's interesting that he was talking about a horror movie and you were wearing a horror shirt.
That's the second time today that's happened. Weird synchronicities.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I wasn't closing my eyes because I'm so damn holy or something.
Yeah.
I went to bed at 4 a.m. last night. I'm tired of, so I probably have a higher proclivity to be.
I did a little of that in the beginning because I was trying to like.
Oh, and I'm trying to focus. Yeah, but my head's a little like anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great message. Beautiful message.
Yeah, Yogananda, like obviously he was probably like a self-realized human being, and it just I don't know. Part of me, sometimes during this I realize how distant sometimes I feel from some of these realizations, and how beautiful it might be to come to a place where, like he was talking about, getting to a place where nothing could affect you. You couldn't be bothered. Like he was the person in the movie theater and listening to all the other people get caught up in the film and like either scared or laughing or whatever like that. And he was talking about like, I didn't understand it because, I realized that it was a movie, which also makes you wonder, like, I don't know, about self-realization. Is it something that you can pull yourself in and out of when you have some like non-dual wild epiphany? And that can you enjoy life to the fullest in certain aspects? I don't know.
The answer is thusly.
Oh, jeez.
It's stop.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things we could give each other loving wise. The world could give each other is time.
Yeah.
Is, hey, you don't have to say or do anything.
Yeah.
But we don't give that to each other. So we get possessed by ideas and characteristics. What happens if some person that doesn't have much guidance in their life, doesn't have any real world good examples, goes to a movie theater and sees a depiction of somebody who's getting all the things they want out of life, but it's like a gangster movie. And then they decide, I'm going to be a gangster. And then all of a sudden they get wrapped up in a fiction and their life, and I'm not negating people where that's the reality of their situation. They're born into a place where there's crime everywhere and it's real. I'm talking about if you got wrapped up into a movie, and this happens all the time. We get wrapped up into what we see on all the social medias. We get wrapped up into watching movie stars and rock gods attain glory. And we make a whole belief out of it, and then we act it out. We act out the things we've accumulated. And so one of the best things you could do is give someone so much time that even when the process of having time leads them to be like, I hate time. I don't want to sit in the present. That sucks. Get me out of this, facility that makes you sit around and have time. I gotta escape. It's like, hey, you're free to come and go. Then go do more things in the world and come back when you're ready. But I think a vital thing for humanity would be giving people enough time to see what's what, to actually see rather than be possessed by the projections that we create and are being projected all over the world, getting wrapped up in them. Because you're right, that's a lofty promise, is to say you will be beyond perturbability. You won't be affected by these things. You'll be able to have a clearer view. But I think that it takes untying yourself from your ego, untying yourself from the character you've built up over all these years and what you look around and see. Because one of the things he said is the voice of God in his head was like, show them that they're the light projecting onto the screen. Show them that I'm the light projecting onto the screen.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Well, now you got your work cut out for you. And from what we've gathered, that we've understood, and maybe a little bit of trying things out for ourselves, it seems like you can't. This is not something you can just force. You can't force yourself to be enlightened.
Yeah.
And so, what do you do then? It's been commonly said, you watch. And sorry if that was boring, but I just want to sort of try to embody the idea of stillness.
Yeah.
And stillness can be painful when you're programmed like a robot. Your programming, for instance, that they put into you is, come on, get up, don't be lazy. You're worse than an infidel if you're not doing anything.
So true.
Get up, move, blah, blah, feel guilty. Feel guilty about everything you do. You should tell the truth, don't lie, blah, blah, blah. We're relentless with how we treat each other with that stuff. It's like, just give me a moment.
Yep.
Which is why I think sometimes it's people with maybe a low IQ, maybe unexceptional people that actually become enlightened sometimes because they're like, I never had a stake in the game. Nobody ever asked me of anything because I'm so weird and different. And so I had time to go off on my own and get it together. The other side of that is selfishly wielding all the talents that you were born into for your own selfish gain will just leave you at the top of Mount Everest by yourself. And you go, great, I made it to the top of the mountain. Time to go down and help because it sucks being alone. I guess I'll go help everybody else get to the top.
Yeah. I see a little bit of it in our society, allotted by, I think, innovation and technology that will, I think, provide in the future more capacity for people to come to self-realization and stuff like that and have some of these epiphanies. I think it will allow for that. There's more room out there than there's ever been. Still, we got a long way to go, but I'm optimistic about.
It's amazing what can happen. From one perspective, you're right. It's like, it could be 100 years before certain changes happen. But again, miracles can happen, and things can change rapidly. What happens when consciousness spreads? And maybe that's a naive notion. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The point is, like, we're learning together.
That's right. Okay, good note to end it on. Hopefully, guys, that you liked our reaction. Let us know if you want us to do more of these Yogananda reactions.
I liked it.
If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone, until next time, stay spiritual.